LSU women's basketball team opened their season tonight with a 108-55 demolition of the Houston Christian Huskies. Yeah, that's who they played. They played the Houston Christian Huskies. I mean, I guess the game was a little bit closer than their 100-point exhibition win last week. But we got LSU winning their opener by 48? No, 53. 53 points. And the only reason I'm talking about this game is because we got to see what's going to happen with the one player that transferred over there, who I think who we had to wonder what the role would be. What would the role be? And that's for MiLaysia Fulwiley. What would her role be for LSU in this guard heavy roster? And how would she look? And from the looks of it, she's fitting right in. And obviously, these are the games where they're going to get their practice time, and they're going to have they got a few. LSU does, unlike UConn, who doesn't really have powder puffs on their schedule. LSU does have some powder puff with Houston Christian, Southeast Louisiana, Georgia Southern, Charlotte, Tulane, Alcorn State, Marist. I think this scheduling is done on purpose for the purposes of LSU because they don't know what they really have, and they are a guard-heavy team with no true size besides Kate Koval. Before they play Duke in December, so by that point they should be 7-0 with 7 blowout victories. God, they do have a really weak ass schedule in their first uh, 12 games. Goodness gracious, they got New Orleans, Louisiana Tech, Morgan State and UT Arlington, Alabama State. My God, their non-conference schedule sucks. Jeez Louise, that sucks. But they do play in a tougher conference. They do have to play Texas, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, all ranked teams during the season. But we got to look at this opening schedule. Obviously, you're gonna expect LSU to jump out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they got Duke sprinkled in the middle of that at game number 8. If they beat Duke, they're 13-0 going to conference play. And the Duke game will be a big test for them. But we saw today that MiLaysia Fulwiley is going to have a role, and let's talk about that role. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, where we talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Shomot. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know y'all thoughts. LSU will be one of the teams that I'm tracking this year because there were two teams in particular that I wanted to keep an eye on for most of this season, and they were UConn and LSU. And I probably will be watching UCLA as well some because I want to see what UCLA has, if there's really a difference with Lauren Betts' sister, Sienna Betts, or if it's just the same slow paced, boring, methodical team that if you make them struggle inside, that they're going to have problems because they can't really shoot the ball that well and they don't have speed on their team. So looking at this game, MiLaysia Fulwiley does not start. She did not start for LSU. She's coming off of the bench. That's interesting to say the least. She's coming off of the bench. A little bit surprised, to be honest. A little bit surprised. She came off the bench. Don't know if that's going to be how LSU does it all year, but she came off the bench and had 21 points. She had 21 points in 21 minutes of play. No one played more than 23 minutes this game. That was by Michaela Williams, who finished with 14 and 7 assists, 4 steals. But MiLaysia Fulwiley comes off the bench for 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 7 steals, and 2 blocks, shooting 57%, 8 of 14 from the field. Are they going to have her come off the bench all season? I don't know. They had Jada Richards starting. She played 15 minutes with 5 points. She's a sophomore, 5'7" sophomore, who was on the LSU squad last year and averaged 2.8 points per game. Interesting. Like I've said before in previous videos that I've done on this team, and we're in the conversation when I was talking about the recruiting and the transfer portal earlier in the spring. This is a guard heavy team. You got a 6-foot freshman in Zakiya Johnson. She had 11 points, 11 rebounds today. in 19 minutes. She's a guard. That's not a big. The only big they have is Kate Koval. Kate Koval 6'5", the transfer from Notre Dame. Um, biggest question I have for Kate Koval is can she run the floor with this team? Because this team is going to run the floor. She only played 14 minutes today. So they played everybody. They had 12 players play in this game. But Flau'jae Johnson had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 assists. Didn't shoot the ball very well. But MiLaysia Fulwiley, man, will she be coming off the bench all year? Will she be that weapon off the bench? Are they going to bring her into the starting lineup? I got to think at some point she's going to start. I can't imagine that she decided to transfer to LSU to come off the bench. I don't know what people think about that. I think that was a big problem at South Carolina. And again, this is Houston Christian. But in her 21 minutes of play, 21 points, she took the most shots on the team. She's clearly a weapon, very, very athletic, allowed to use her athleticism to be effective. 7 steals is ridiculous. That's a lot of steals. She was also 2 of 5 from 3 and was a big part of a run in the second quarter that kind of put the game to bed with a 10-0 run to close the first half as they built a 53-27 lead at halftime. So I'll be paying attention to this team and seeing what MiLaysia Fulwiley does and how they utilize her. I have to wonder if coming off of the bench when the games matter will matter to her or not. I think she should start. I really do. I really do. Starting matters. People can sit here and say it doesn't. It matters. I know people say, "Oh, it doesn't matter who starts. It matters who finishes." No, it matters who starts and who finishes. You don't want to be a starter who doesn't finish, but you don't want to be the bench who doesn't start. You want to be a starter and you want to finish. And typically, your best players are your starters. Even with the top 6 man or 6 woman, it's like, nah, man, I want to be a starting lineup, man. But this is a guard heavy team, and the biggest concern that I have, and I said it before, was the lack of size. And yet they obviously out rebounded Houston Christian. They had 21 offensive rebounds. Zakiya Johnson had 9 offensive boards of her 11 rebounds, which means, God, that's a lot of offensive rebounds. But yeah, they got the W 108-55. MiLaysia Fulwiley goes for 21 points, so she is obviously gonna be a big part of their offense. We'll be keeping an eye on them all season. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, where we talk facts over feelings, baby. Come on now.